Hey guys, Kev here, and I want to talk about a newer budget knife brand that hit me up and asked to send me a couple items. The brand is called Molsect, and they are a Chinese brand, budget brand, and they have some interesting designs. And yeah, they sent me 3 knives to check out. I thought I would show them to you. One of them is a wild one. It's pretty sweet. Actually, we have 2 budget knives. One wild budget knife is part of that, and then we have a more premium knife actually in titanium. So kind of a interesting split here. Here's some packaging for you. This is the more premium one. Comes in a little pouch in there. Then you have the more affordable ones here. Molsect 2024 Molsect made in China. And the other one is exactly the same. Now, this one's called the Coastline, and it is in 14C, 28N, sorry. And let me pull up the website. They do come in an interesting pouch. I should show you that actually, because you should see it. $49.99 on this one. It's G10 and 14C. And it comes in this box I showed you, and then it has this pouch. This is their pouch, which is unique. It's different. It kind of looks like a glasses pouch. It's got a little metal, button there. You put the strap on, so she said. And then inside is a decent amount of stuff. So you get some paracord in a bag. You get a little join the Molsect moment, and then here's some information on here. They have safety guidelines. Kind of interesting how they have that, but if you don't know how to handle the knife, well, now you do. Warranty information about the brand and how to contact them and their socials. So definitely check that stuff out. If you're interested, you can pause and read. Also would be on their website, I assume. And there is a microfiber in here as well. And then it looks like there's a pin, magnetic pin, interesting, Molsect pin, debut year. This is their first year, and a little sticker as well. So you get a lot of stuff in there. Here's a little piece of troll candy, must have escaped. And I don't mind it. I think, we've seen people try to do a different pouch in the past, and usually it ends up being less useful than the normal pouches we see. So this one is basically just a regular pouch. It's just a little bit of a different form factor. Nothing wrong with that. Some more of those little troll candies. I'll throw in my case there. Now, again, this one is $49.99. It's on their website, molsect.com. I'll put a link down below. Not sure if I have an affiliate link or not, but it doesn't matter. Either way, I'll put it down there for you if you want to check it out. Looks like they have 16 in stock. They have, I believe, just the one version in black G10. And that's about it for the information, I guess. 7.6 overall. So here's some specs for you if you want to check that out. 3.37 blade length. Does it give you HRC? 59 to 60 on that 14C 28N. As I understand it, they make their own knives, but that could be wrong. I'm not sure. But this is not bad. It's a little flipper knife. Got some jimping on it. Pops open. I do wish the detent was a little bit stronger. I can, almost fail it there. If I really tried, I could fail it. But, I mean, it's not gonna fail, but it doesn't feel super snappy either. It's not like flying out of there. It just kind of like deploys and locks up when I'm pulling it, which sounds like that's what it should do. But it doesn't have that like pop that you want, where it breaks out of the detent like say this one here is another newish brand to me, Ferro Monster. The difference there is this one pops out, makes that really nice click sound, flies out of there and locks up. Super satisfying feeling and everything. This one, not satisfying really. So there's that. But, you know, it has a detent. It's not a bad detent. Right hand only on the clip. Does have some interesting milling here. I do like that. You know, instead of just flat scales or whatever, we have this little sort of curvature milling. And then we have these, you know, I don't know what you would call those, lines, I guess. There's a little M logo. I like that. It's nice and milled in, and it's flush with the frame, which is cool. Their pivot screw goes in with a flathead, which, don't love it, but it is what it is. One of the reasons I don't love it is usually, let's see here, I'll grab a flathead. Usually, when you have a flathead like this as the pivot, I'll go ahead and see if I can break that. Break it, loosen it out. Got some Loctite in there. And it worked. I never stripped out of it or anything like that. You can see that Loctite on there. Hopefully it'll hold. I'm gonna put it back together now. So let's see. We are centered. A little bit of play there. No play. Action's great. Still pretty much centered, maybe a little over, but seems fine to me. And it looks like the coating held up. Usually what happens with these types is that coating gets stripped away in there and you end up having just like chunks of the pivot area showing, where it's a little less of an issue with a T8 or whatever, because you have that star pattern indent. There's not as much movement, right? I could find the correct size flathead, I guess, but I mean, is there a perfect fit for this width-wise and lengthwise? I don't know. But it did hold up to that. Looks like maybe on the edges a little bit it got marked up, but I don't know. That's one of the reasons I don't love the flathead style ones, and the fact that I'd prefer to just use one tool for everything. Does look like the other screws are all T6s. They do look well shaped. Nice star pattern to them. Let's see. Grab a T6. Yep, T6 there. Tighten it down. Yeah, it marks up the screws. That coating's coming off of there as well, but you know, not any worse than your normal budgety style knife. Ergonomics, pretty solid. It's got sort of a, to me, it has sort of a Shiro vibe. Yeah, I mean, that's probably the one I'd choose to compare it to in terms of aesthetic, obviously. It's a little bit of a Shiro vibe, which is cool. It's just a nice flipper design. It's got some jimping up here. Feels comfortable in hand. I have a large glove size hand. And, you know, if you have XL hands, you might be able to squeeze them on. Obviously, I want to spread out a little bit, so I'm using up the whole handle here. No choil of any kind. Plunge grind does not look great. I'm not an expert on that, but I can see that plunge grind is coming right across the edge termination. You can see something is going on here. That doesn't bother me, but it might bother some of you. And my biggest gripe on actually all of their knives that I handle, all three of them, is the detents are super late. So what I mean by that is when you disengage the knife, where the blade jumps onto the detent ball, so you can see it's on the lock bar now. You disengage it, and then that blade comes down and it hits that detent ball in the back there. And it eventually jumps over that, and then that detent ball rides across the blade the rest of the way, closed. So if you have a late detent, this is what happens. You get stuck on it. And you either double clutch or you have to shake through it, right? If you have a ramp, you can usually shake through it. These, I don't think they have ramps, no? So you just kind of get stuck on them, and that's not my favorite, especially as a lefty, because as a lefty, what you do is you disengage the knife, you turn it, and then you shake it down. And for the most part, if you're doing that, you're going to end up shaking it back up and double clutching, it's going to lock back up. So what you have to do is push it all the way past that detent, which is halfway closed essentially. For an example, I'll use one of my own knives. This is where it sits on the detent, okay? This is a new knife we're releasing. Haven't even really looked where it is, but we usually always try to do a very early detent. So yeah, that's where it's hitting, is right there. So you can see the difference. On the Fireball here, these dropped the 17th of October, by the way, 1 p.m. Eastern on our website, divoknives.com. But you only have to clear about, I mean, I don't even know what that is. 0.5 millimeter? So you just have to go past that, especially as a lefty here. I can go to there and I'm already clear. I mean, I barely have to do anything and I'm clear of that. Now I can just take my time to shake it down, do whatever I need to, right? So that's one example. Let's just grab a random knife. Here's a Tempest Knives, another budget knife. Tempest Knives Microburst. Look where that one lands, right there. Similar to the Fireball. Easy, disengages, swings down. Here's a Bridgeport Knife Company, 395E2, I believe. Great knife, by the way. See where that one hits. Yep, right here. Another very early one. So again, just have to get past that area there. As a lefty, so easy, clear it. Now you can shake your knife down. It just makes your life a lot easier. And having a super late detent is not my favorite. But overall, it's a cool design for, you know, $50. I'm not gonna really complain about the knife. I think that's a good price, and I think it's a good knife for that price. Most people probably do this anyway, right? The detent placement does not really matter in this case if you're gonna use your index finger to roll it closed anyway, right? Or you go low enough on the lock bar, it will clear that. So it is cool. I just have that one gripe. It is a personal thing. I do think detent should be early in general, but it's not the end of the world. The clip, by the way, is very good. It's got good retention. It's deep carry. It's set low. I really like the clip. Well done on the clip from Molsect. So that is the Coastline. Now the next one's called the Jungle. This one is wild, but it's also my favorite one out of the three I have here. This is called the Jungle. So for you guys who like them big knives, this is the one for you. So we have a similar clip. It's just huge, but inset, very low. The screws aren't flush with the frame, but they are down a little bit. I didn't notice any issues with it going in the pocket. I didn't carry this much because it's so big, but I did try it and it felt good in pocket. The G10 has this beautiful milling on it. It almost feels like my Carta. I'll double check the specs when I pull up their website, but I think it's G10, but it feels great. Again, I really like how they do their pivot. It's like flush with the scale, and it has that M cutout. Nice red accent there on the thumb stud. I'm guessing those are aluminum. Now we have a flipper tab on this and a buoy. This is a folding buoy and it's gorgeous. I mean, that's just such a cool looking knife in my opinion. A big ass folding buoy called the Jungle. Basically Rambo's knife folded up. I think it's super cool. You can see they even have the flathead on the thumb stud. That's interesting. Now, again, disengage it. This is where the D10 hits. Now, this is a heavy blade, so it's easy to swing past it. But we do have the same thing. Now, this one I think does have a ramp, maybe. Or it's just so heavy that it gets over it so easily. Let me just clean these up. There's definitely some schmutz on the lock bars here. I don't want to cause any stick. This one had it too. Let me get the last one. Okay. So you also have thumb studs, and it is a liner lock. So you can put your thumbs, oh jeez. You can put your thumbs wherever you want. You gotta be careful, wow. So that late detent could save you, I guess. It works left-handed very well. See that? That's what happens to me left-handed. And that's why the late detents bother me personally more than probably it matters to most people. Because I'm left-handed, I do this, and then I go to close the knife, and I'm like, what's happening? You know? But yeah, detent's great on this, which is impressive for the size that they nailed it for studs and for flipper. Excellent work on that. 14C 28N again. You have a black coated blade that's going to be a PVD, maybe a light tumble on it, but it looks like just straight black. Probably a titanium nitride carbon coating. Full liners in there. I guess they are proud liners, but it looks good. I mean, they did a good job with it. It's definitely heavy, probably 6 or 7 ounces. Lock bar access does not look like a lot. Has that little bit of jimping on there, but it's not uncomfortable. It's not a heavy lock bar. It moves out of the way easy, and the blade drops pretty free. So, yeah, it's easy. You have the nice little jimps there or whatever, ribs on the thumb studs. The thumb or the flipper tab can be push buttoned, but the best way to do it is a nice light switch. You have a flat grind. I think a hollow would have been sick on this, but you know how it goes. Really interesting clip point, buoy blade, very nice. You do have a forward finger choil as well, so you can choke up on this if you need to do some whittling or feather sticking or whatever. This could be, I guess, a good camp knife or something. You can see the plunge grind on this one looks to be a bit better. I can see it ends like right about here. So you have quite a bit of room there to sharpen, which is good. Yeah, this one's solid. I really like this one. And I think, like, you know, you guys who like the big cold steel knives and whatnot, I think you could appreciate this one. Let me tell you what the price is on this one. Jungle is $59.99. I think that's excellent when it comes to the materials, the size, the build quality, all of that stuff. $59.99 is a great price. Super comfortable in hand too. I mean, I get obviously a full grip here. I can choke up. Yeah, I'm really impressed with the Jungle. Comes with that same slip or case. Really cool. So that's the Jungle. The last one is a more premium knife. So this one's called the SOAR, S-O-A-R, and it has a titanium frame lock design. I guess sort of a reverse bolster lock design, if you will. Titanium pocket clip, and then it has this sort of weave carbon fiber, checkered weave carbon fiber inlaid. It's hard for me to tell, and as you can tell, it has the same late detent. It's hard to tell if this is weave or that more cheap, like peel ply kind, but it looks like weave. It's just flat. There's no contouring on it or anything, so it doesn't look as good. I really like weave carbon fiber as long as it is contoured, because that contour brings out a little bit of I don't know how to explain it, but it brings out something in the weave, because when you have it flat, it just looks a little bit too shiny, like plasticky for me. So there's that. You have satin hardware on this guy. Obviously the frame is titanium, but it's bead blasted. It looks good. You have Chicago screw here. That nice flush pivot again. This one's satin. You have a hole in the blade on this one. Interesting design there on that. And you can reverse flick that right-handed. The blade is also bead blasted. And this one's an S35VN. So you're getting a more premium steel. Still flat ground. Drop point, I guess I would call this. Maybe a clip, but sort of a drop point with a mini poon there. 179 on this one. So this one, you know, this one's a tough one for me, because I think the materials and the build, considering it has the inlay that kind of wraps around there. It's not just a simple inlay. You have that reverse bolster lock onlay type deal, that nice clip with the angle on it. I mean, there's definitely some premium details here. So, you know, 180, I kind of get it, but I also feel like at that price point, this should have a super steel, where I guess S35VN is, but a level up from that. I think it should have, I don't want to say M390 20CV, because I really don't like those steels anymore. But that's kind of the baseline for this price point, I think, at this point. Especially from a company that I believe is making the knives, right? 59 to 60 HRC on their S35VN. So, yeah, they're calling it a sandblast on the blade, which is nice. I mean, that's better than a bead blast. Basically, they take sand and blast it. I think maybe they tumbled it after. It's not just a straight blast, which would, you know, not be as good corrosion-wise, but S35 holds up better. I've had issues with it on M390 20CV when bead blasted, but that's really the only steel. That and Nitro V and N690. Other than that, I haven't had rusting issues when blasted. I would have liked to see the blade be satin, but it does look different, and it matches the handle, and I think that's cool. Dead nut centered. Good detent on this one. Nice jimping on the flipper tab. It feels really good. The reverse flick is great. Thumb flick. Right-handed works well. Now, left-handed, you can get in there and thumb flick it. It's a little awkward. The reverse flick is harder, but I can rest up on that carbon fiber, you know, pivot area there and get it off. And then again, you don't have a forward choil. You have a swoop here and then sort of a bow in, and it works in my hand, but large glove size hand, I'm already out of room. It almost feels a little bit cramped. So, you know, anything bigger than a large glove size hand, you're probably going to be out of room already. This is a, what do we got? Where's the blade length? 3.27. And they're saying the weight is 4.26 ounces. It feels a little lighter than that, but, you know, nothing wrong with that at all. And it has the late detent. And I don't know why they all have this. It's odd. And this one I'm not really able to throw past. There, finally got it. So you kind of got to get low enough to clear it, which is low. I think I got it there, yeah. Otherwise, you're using your index finger to close it yourself. Left-handed, you have, man, really no chance because that flipper tab gets in your way. You got to kind of pull your finger away to clear it and then come out and shake. But if you do this, you got to really push it past and then shake it back down. So I don't love that. Don't love that. That tip is good. It's buried. I mean, I like the look. It's clean. The transitions are good. I think there's a lot of good here between these three. But I think we also see that this is a new brand and they're going to learn different things, right? I think they're going to learn that the detent should be a little earlier. I think that, you know, that's something that makes sense to me. Other than that, I mean, I think for the price points, they're doing a really good job. You know, and people seem to really love their stuff. I had them recommended to me a few times before they reached out. So that's good. The community's into them. So, you know, I really have positive things to say about them, but I also want to be honest and give that feedback. So that's where I'm at. It's a little bit of good and a little bit of criticism. But overall, I think the brand is cool. And if you guys are interested in the designs, I think they're doing a cool new sort of pouch situation. Here's the premium box. It's a little bit of a nicer box, but you still get the same leather pouch. Caution, sharp blade. Keep away from children. Gotta love it. So check out Molsect.com. I'll put a link down below. Let me know if you have any questions. I definitely think the jungle is awesome. You guys should check that one out if you're into the big boys. That's what she said. I think you're really going to like the Molsect jungle. And for 60 bucks, really hard to beat. These handles are incredible. They are G10. So I love you. I hope you have a fantastic day. Let me know what you think down below, which one you would choose out of these three if you disagree and it's not the jungle. Thank you to Molsect for sending these out. I really appreciate it. These are going to go into my pass around group so other guys can get a chance to check them out as well. And yeah, hope you guys have a great day, and I will catch you later.